Turner here with a lesson on adding and subtracting polynomials. Today's learning target, we will be able to add and subtract polynomials.
Okay, add page P1, adding and subtracting polynomials to your table of contents. All right, today we are going to remember our candy bar math, and we are going to first identify and combine like terms. Just like when we combine those Twix bars and Snickers bars and we knew they were different, our x squared terms and our x terms are different. Now, instead of giving away candy, we are going to have to distribute the negative sign in subtraction. Super important, this idea of distributing that negative sign. So first off, we want to identify and combine those like terms. So I am looking at x squared and 2x squared. Next up, I am looking at 2x positive. Notice I'm going to include that plus sign, and 3x negative. Last but not least, I'm dealing with my constants of a -1 and a +5. Once you've identified your like terms, it's super easy to say 1x squared plus 2x squared. Well, that's 3x squared. 2x minus 3x, that's going to be a -1x. You do not have to write the 1, but you do have to write the negative. And -1 plus 5 is plus 4. That is doing it horizontally. Just like when we were in elementary school, you can add vertically. You need to make sure that you do indeed have your like terms aligned, which I have already done here in this worksheet. But if you are going to move it to write it vertically, you will have to do that yourself. And again, 1x squared plus 2x is 3x squared. 2x minus 3x is a -x, and -1 plus 5 is 4. Now, you're going to do the exact same procedure of identifying like terms when you subtract. Exact same procedure. But there is one additional step here, and that is to distribute that negative sign out in front. You have to take this negative and distribute it to all the terms inside. That means a negative times a negative makes this a giant positive, and it makes that a giant negative. Now you're just going to add x squared minus 2x squared gives you a -x squared. 2x plus, because this is now a plus 3x, gives you 5x. And -1 and -5 gives you -6. Little harder to do when you are subtracting. Little bit trickier when you're subtracting. So you see that negative sign out in front? You are just going to make this a giant negative, make this a giant positive, a giant negative, and combine those like terms. So x squared minus 2x squared is -x squared. 2x and 3x is 5x, and -1 and -5 is -6. Now on this next problem, example B, they've done something tricky because it is not in standard form, though you need to write your answer in standard form. There is only one 6x squared. You have 4x and 5x, those are like terms. And then you have a 9 and a -12 as far as like terms. So you've got to be very careful. Start with your highest degree, that is 6x squared. There is nothing to combine it with. Now you go to 4x plus 5x gives you 9x, and +9 and -12 give you a -3. Over here, I have rewritten them in correct order. Notice you have your 6x. I've written the 5x and the 4x underneath each other, and your constants are over here. But again, you are just going to add like terms with like terms. That is the biggest problem with this. Subtraction works exactly the same way as the prior subtraction, but again, you need to realize that your terms are out of order. So you have that 6x squared, you have a 4x, which is going to combine with a 5x, and then you have your constant terms of plus 9 and plus 12. But remember, this is subtraction. So I'm going to take the subtraction sign. I'm going to apply it to the 5x, but a negative times a negative makes that a positive 12. 4x, oh, don't start with the 4x. You need to start with the highest degree. So start with that 6x squared. Then you say 4x minus 5x is minus x, and 9 plus 12 is 21. Same idea over here. We've got to take that negative sign, apply it to that first term, and swap out the negative 12 for a positive 12. Then we just combine those like terms. 6x squared minus x plus 21. It is totally up to you if you are going to do them horizontally, like on the left column, or vertically on the right column. Either way, don't forget to combine those like terms.
Take a moment, pause that video. Think about how comfortable you are with this material. Never hesitate to go back and re-watch something that seems a little bit tricky for you. Talk it over with a classmate. Ask me for help. Now is a great time to do some math.